Okay, so
What do you do in your job that may help many other people?
what do I do in my job to help other people?
Yeah.
My job is about communicating. So, as an electronic engineer in telecommunications, my job is about putting basically the highways for people to send all kinds of information in between. So, for example, to send data like an email or like I don't know, file, or to send voice, or to send video, or wireless, or whatever you need to let people communicate. So basically, I allow people to exchange information.
Okay.
What are the best advantages in your job that help you or others in your community?
How do I help people in my community?
Yeah, like what are your advantages? The best one.
Well, as an engineer, you are a creative person. So if you're a creative person, you can always design things that contribute to the community to make people happier. For instance, my job today is at the convention center in Vancouver, and obviously all the events that happen there are obviously helping the community, and all the technology behind those projects are in, I'm the guy in charge of all of those. So I'm helping the community somehow, even if I'm behind the scenes.
Okay. Why did you want to become what you are now instead of choosing another career?
I didn't want to be a lawyer or a doctor. I love being an engineer. Since I was a very young kid, I loved assembling things and creating things. I feel being an engineer is a very, very good opportunity to be creative. Every single day is not different. You always have a new challenge. You always have new things that people are asking you to solve. So I'm happy to be an engineer because you are always creating something. I don't like those kind of jobs that are just a routine that you repeat over and over and over and over, but you never have any changes in your work.
Did anyone else ever motivate you to become an electronic engineer? If so, who are they?
When I was a kid, probably around your age or a bit younger, well, there were several people. First, I still have an uncle, and he was not an engineer, but he was kind of a technician repairing TVs, and he also was a ham radio guy. You know ham radio?
Yes.
So basically, he had a radio, a shortwave radio, and he was able to communicate with many people around the world. And I was always in his lab watching, very curious about what the guy was doing when he was repairing TVs, and also when he was playing with his radio and talking to people and communicating. So I said, wow, this is really cool. This guy is really creative. And also I had a teacher when I was also, in what grade? I think around your age, grade 7, grade 8. And he was basically a teacher in charge of teaching me math. And also we had a lab where we were able to play with the electrical stuff. So basically build circuits, put lamps, ring bells, buttons, sockets. So it was a good way to play with electricity. And eventually we had some labs where we were building very basic radios. And obviously I cannot say that my parents also gave me toys or tools to always be able to play as if this was a toy, a game, but in reality I was becoming an engineer.
Okay. What are the disadvantages in your job?
You have to work long hours sometimes, so you have responsibility, and let's say if something breaks, uh, for instance, right now in my job, if all the communications break at the convention center, basically the convention center is dead. All the lights will be off, all the temperature won't be regulated, all the audio and the speakers will be dead, there is going to be no phones, no wireless internet, no wired internet. Basically, it will be dead. So I have a lot of responsibility, and if something breaks, I need to be there behind the scenes and make everything work. And it happened several times that I have to fix things overnight and even stay there when the sun is rising again and eventually fix things. So that's the disadvantage.
Would you ever want to change careers in this case?
No, I'm very happy. I'm very happy being an engineer, and I already had many people suggesting me to become just a manager that is only thinking about the money and finance and go more into the business and finance side, just thinking about how to make more profits. But for me, that's not really being an engineer. So I really enjoy being an engineer.
When did you apply for this job exactly? Like in other places too?
When? For this one, the current job, or in general?
Like in general?
I started working before finishing my university degree. So that was in 1986 when I started working, and I started working in a company that was creating the signage for the Mexican World Cup in 1986. The owner was one of my teachers, and since that time I worked at many different companies, like companies that you know, like Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
like Hewlett Packard, and like Cisco Systems, and today I work for Bell Canada. So many jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That answers the question?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you gain lots of stress by doing your job?
sometimes yes. For instance, I was one of the guys working during the Olympics, and during the Olympics, you can imagine, we don't do our job properly. There are simply no Olympics, so for sure I was stressed. There are peaks and valleys. There are moments when you're stressed, and there are moments when you are cool, idle, okay, managing the job.
Are your teammates good sources of help?
Oh yeah. You know, you cannot do your job, especially in my case, being a manager. I have a team of 5, 6 people, and nobody can be an expert in a single area. So it's good to have different people that can be experts in different areas. And for instance, I'm not the best guy doing cables, and I have some guys that are very, very good putting cables, and I have a guy that is very good with servers, with Microsoft servers, or with the Unix or Linux servers. So yes, you have to work as a team, and always use your team for the things that you don't know.
Are there any occasions where you are just too frustrated to do anything?
Oh yeah, several times. To give an idea, for instance, we have people that are part of a union, and sometimes they don't want to do things that their business requires, and simply because the union contract on one side doesn't cover those things, and the business requires them, and I have to mediate in between both parts. So yes, sometimes there is frustration. There is no perfect job.
What would be something you would really like in your job that you don't have currently?
Probably more time. Having more time, more vacations. But that's I think we're getting there. Life is a balance, and not everything is about work. Money is always something you also want. Money, time, I'm okay. I think I'm balancing things okay, but I would like to have more time and
Yeah.
more recognition sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Where is your office located, and why why not do you like where it is?
My office is located in the downtown Vancouver. It's exactly at the Canada Place and the new convention center building. And it's a very, very cool building. It's brand new. I like it a lot. So no, I don't mind being there. The only thing is that I have to commute like 45-50 minutes every day using the train.
Would you like it like to be more close?
Oh yeah, sure. But here in Vancouver, unless you are living beside downtown, you have to commute. So it's a balance again between having a nice home in the middle of the suburbs with nice gardens, being affordable, and also being in a job that is interesting.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.